Hello, my courageous Capricorn, and welcome to your general abundance reading. This is a financial, wealth, monetary leaning type of reading, so it is just general, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out your other readings on my channel, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. If you do enjoy this, please do like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, all that other great stuff. It would mean a lot to me. I am trying to grow my channel, and hopefully you will enjoy this and it will resonate with you. If it does, please do comment and let me know. I love to interact. So otherwise, we will be doing this as a past, present, future spread. Do remember time is fluid in tarot, so you may still be in one section or already moving on to the other. And at the end, of course, we will be getting some abundance clarifiers too. So let's go ahead and get you started off here in your past row, your present row, and your future row. And we will be getting more cards, of course, as we go along to kind of clarify these. But it does look like you've been carrying a lot of burdens in the past here that you are starting to kind of try to put down. Okay, so whatever you've been going through, whether it is like fund monetarily that you've been struggling with the money, or whether you've been struggling to try to find the right job, positioning, those kinds of things, I do feel like you're kind of coming to the end of that, okay? You're ready to put that burden down. So something is probably on the horizon, if it hasn't already come to you, that's going to be looking up. You know, you kind of coming to the end of that. So kudos on that, because you may have been struggling for that for a very long time. I kind of feel like for some of you, you've kind of really been struggling either financially, economically, or, you know, in a job that you hated, or looking for some job, something of that regard, but it's been a long time coming, right? We have the Six of Cups in reverse, okay? So I do feel like that, you know, this is something where, you know, usually you have somebody from your past, things like this, but I think what this is telling me is that it's time to move on to new things, right? Maybe you were holding on to some things. Maybe you were holding on to some people and they were draining you dry. Maybe you were holding on to a job that you had kind of gotten into when you were younger, right? Maybe straight out of college, maybe straight first job out of high school, whatever. And you just stuck around too long, right? You know, you weren't getting where you want to go. Maybe they were making promises to you. You know, maybe they were passing you over for raises and you were trying to stick it out, stick it out, stick it out. And it was just becoming too much, right? And I feel like for a lot of you, that's the situation. So this is telling you, move forward, okay? Let go of that. You can still enjoy those people, be friends with those people, whatever, but you don't have to necessarily hitch your financial cart to those people if they're business partners, if they were coworkers, whatever it may be. If they're family members who are draining you dry, or friends from childhood or whatever, old friends, then, you know, you need to sever that at least economic situation with them, okay? Because sometimes friends and money don't mix, family and money don't mix, and this may be the case for you, because I do see that burden, and that could be it, that you are really feeling like you're just giving all you can, right? And it's really kind of drained you. So let's get another card on this one really quickly. Okay, so I see the Four of Wands in reverse. And that's telling me that your foundation has kind of not been real solid. And again, that kind of goes along with this, that I feel like, you know, maybe it's been a family situation. It could be, you know, that you haven't been able to really get in and build the home life, this base, the financial foundation that you've really wanted. And a lot of it has been because I do feel like there's been a draining, you know, situation there for you, that you've either tried to stick around too long at something, or that, you know, you've kind of tried to be loyal to people from your past a little bit too much, to your own detriment. Loyalty is never a bad thing, but it is if it starts to kind of drain you or take advantage of you. And I can see maybe that's been kind of a burden on you. So I feel like that's kind of rattled your foundation. And two, with this being in reverse too, you know, maybe part of that is you're going to have to upset the foundation. Okay, you're going to have to break free of these people. You're going to have to flip your own foundation over in order to move forward. That's very possible, okay? So let's move into the actual where you are now stage. And for many of you, again, fluid. You may still be here. You may have already moved on to here. So let's see what we've got going on here. And we've got the World in reverse. So again, I think that's clearly showing that you have not been able to kind of bring to fruition what you've wanted, okay? You haven't been able to realize your dream. And I do feel like for a lot of you, it's because you've been spinning your wheels, you've been holding on too long to something. You've either had kind of an anchor around your, ankle there with somebody in your friends, family, or you've just tried to be loyal too long, maybe be in a partnership too long, stay at a job too long, you know, even though they haven't made great on their promises, or they haven't really given you your just, dues. And it's really not brought your career, your finances, your abilities to fruition to build your foundation the way you have. And maybe you're even seeing them building theirs to fruition, thinking, okay, where's my piece of the pie, right? And for that reason, we have the 4 here of Pentacles in reverse though. So for that reason, I do see that some of you, instead of holding on to your Pentacles, are going to be able to kind of put some out there. Now, does that mean I feel like you're going to be coming into a lot of funds right then, this quickly? That's not what I'm necessarily feeling for you. But what I am feeling for some of you is that you may have to spend some money to make some money, okay? So for a lot of you who have that fear, okay, I can't job hunt, okay, because I'll have to come out of pocket to move, or I'll have to, take a hit at first, right, to start a new job. But in the long run, yes, you may start a little bit lower, but this job may offer you way faster escalation than this one you've been sitting grinding away at for years too long and not gotten anywhere, okay? Or, you may have to invest if you're an investor and you've been sitting on the same stuff for too long with friends that have been kind of giving you that tips or whatever. And this time it's like, okay, now I'm going to come out of money with something, that people are saying is a better option. Professionals, not friends, not family members, not people that, I've kind of felt a loyalty to, but maybe just somebody that's, really trusted in the industry. But I feel this particular card is telling me that instead of holding on to the coins that you have, it may be a situation where you need to spend money to make money. And for those of you who are thinking, you know what, I've been so burdened by being tied to these other people, by doing so much for other people for so long, but I want to kind of branch out on my own. This may be your chance. This may be your opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to put some money into myself. I'm going to invest in myself. I think I can do better on my own. I think so if there's some of you that have been thinking, you know what, I've got this really great idea for a job opportunity, for, for a business, for an investment, something like that. And maybe people have been kind of holding you back that are in your family, friends, whatever, or you didn't want to upset your foundation. I think this card is saying, you know what, maybe it's time to upset the foundation and do what you need to do to kind of maybe flip that world upside down. But, at the same time, branch out. It's that time for you to actually make things happen, because if you keep doing the same crap over and over, right, definition of insanity, right, you're gonna get the same results. So I think this is saying you might have to, take a little hit financially or spend a little bit of money financially to get you where you need to go, but it's going to work out for you better in the long run. So let's get another one on that one. Okay, so we have the Chariot in reverse. And again, I feel like that's the same thing. You may have to take a step back. You may have to take a job that pays a little less than what you do now, and you're thinking, how is that getting me forward? But again, if you've been sitting at a job for 5 years waiting for that one raise, and this new job is one that, you could go into, show who you are, because you've been at that job for loyalty to friends, loyalty to family, loyalty because it was your first job, whatever. And this new job, you can show your talents, and they just start promoting you and giving you raises. Even though it feels like a step back at the very start, it's going to skyrocket you to a much better place. Maybe you need to take a step back from the corporate world or what you've been doing and try something new. Again, that might be the time if you're considering a new, starting a new business venture, new business partnership, new job of your own or business of your own, investment of your own. But I do think you are going to need to take a step back from what you're doing. Obviously, what you were doing was causing you burden. It wasn't working for you. It wasn't getting you where you wanted to go. So if you've been having these ideas swirling around like, I'm tired of the same old crap, I'm tired of the same thing, I'm not getting where I need to go, struggling, not loving it, now's the time. Okay, let's get one more on this one. Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, and I do feel like for a lot of you, this could be your energy. Okay, you are that strong, powerful energy, and you've got that really strong energy to fight, right? Queen of Swords, but you're holding it back. Okay, and that may be a good idea at first, right? You may need to hold that back a little bit until you see how things are going to go, right? Nobody wants to jump into a new job, a new business so gung-ho that they kind of spread themselves too thin, or they go in and upset people, or they go in and rock the boat too much and give themselves a bad name. So that could be a potential. However, to be quite frank with you, for many of you, I feel like this card, the first vibe that I get off this card for a lot of you is, and of course these are all gender neutral, but I feel like this is someone in your life personally who is going to try to talk you out of kind of changing your course, changing the way you're doing things or what you're doing with your life, okay? So this may be a significant other, this may be a family member, but it's obviously somebody in a queenly, again, gender neutral, could be your husband, could be your father, so it could be a male just as easily, you know, best male friend, whatever, brother. But again, I do feel like this could be possibly someone who's going to try to talk you out of it. Could be one of your, you know, a boss at work, co-worker, what have you. Obviously you've had some issues here with people, you know, that have kind of wanted to keep you and you've kind of felt loyalty to, I feel like. And so that's kind of kept you from moving forward on your own. And I think they're going to even maybe try to play some guilt situations here, but they don't want you to leave. But I think you know what is best for you. And I think you realize that I'm doing the same thing and I'm becoming more and more frustrated and disgruntled. And that's only going to kind of lead to worse feelings. It's going to fester, right? And it's also not going to get you where you need to go. I mean, let's face it, as the cost of things go up, if you're not getting, you know, growth in your own financial and economic segment potentials, you're kind of really taking a hit, right? Because everything else is going up in price. You need to be going up in opportunity to make money too, right? And so if people are trying to hold you back, and I do feel like there will be somebody who's going to be a naysayer in your circle, somebody that you care about too, somebody who is important to you. This is a Queen of Swords energy. It's important to you, right? But you need to really stand your ground. I do feel like that because I feel like, you know your best, you know how you feel, you know what you've done, and you know you're a loyal person, you know you've shown that, you've proven that, and you've given it more than enough chance and time. Because for a lot of you, I see this very beginning 10 of Wands lets me know that this has been a heavy burden you've been carrying for a long time. Maybe you haven't even spoke about, but you've been like, okay, I've been passed over, I've been screwed over on finances, you know, I'm getting behind in bills they may not even know about, you know, or, you know, I'm just really struggling to make ends meet. You know, it could be any number of things, but you're kind of really taking this in, and they may not even know all of the ins and outs of it, right? Because you like to be, you know, in control, right? So, and you don't want the sympathy, you don't want the pity, you don't want whatever, right? So this person may not even know all the details, and maybe you don't want them to know all the details. So, you know, you protect them, right? But again, you are the one who has to live this life. So, you know, just try to be as true to yourself as you can here, because I do see everything here for you is about you needing to create your own kind of movement forward, right? So let's move forward into the the future side. And again, this could be a month down the road, it could be 3 months down the road, again, fluid. But we have the Four of Cups in reverse, okay? So I feel like you are going to be hearing things. You are going to be listening, okay? I don't think you're not a person, we can see this from here, where you don't take in people's advice, take in people's feelings. You do. You very much are a loyal person. You're very much somebody who wants to consider things. You are going to be listening. You're not going to shut it all out, but don't let that persuade you too much. Okay. Again, you know what you've been through. You're the only one who knows what you've been living. You know what your finances look like more than anybody else. And I think you know how hard you've worked. And maybe you know what things you've been passed over for when you shouldn't have, things of that nature, depending on what resonates with you. And I think for that reason, it's okay to listen to everything and take everybody's opinions in and advice in and make sure that they know that you value their opinions. But at the same time, you know, again, don't take it too much. Kind of, you know, let it kind of roll off and know what you need to do, right? And then we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. So again, I think there's going to be situations where you have a lot of options that are going to be thrown at you, choices that people are going to give you, or, you know, ideas that people are going to give you that they want you to take. And it's going to be kind of along the same line of what you've already been in, you know, maybe even like, here's reasons why you should stay. Here's choices of why you should keep doing what you're doing. This is all the different things of what we need to do. But I don't think you want to listen to those choices. I think these are where you need to push those ideas out, okay? Those choices out of your mind You know what you want. You have an idea. We all do. Whether it's subconscious, whether it's something we just kind of thought about as a pipe dream in the back of our mind, we know what we want to do, right? And now's the time to kind of put those ideas into motion. Now's the time that I think it's better off for you to go ahead and try, because look, what you've been doing is not really getting you where you want to go, obviously. Okay. So let's get another one on here. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So when you start pushing away the options that you've been having, what everybody's putting into your head, all of what your friends and family are trying to keep you involved in, that's when you get your Wheel of Fortune, right? So when you stop listening to everybody else a little bit and start listening to yourself, and I think you kind of already knew that all along, but you are a person who likes to be loyal. You are a person who tries to make the most of things. You are a person who doesn't like to jump ship. You are a person who likes to make everything kind of, you can do the best, you can make the best out of it, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, all that kind of good stuff. And that's great qualities until it hits a point where you're like, okay, enough's enough. I'm doing the same crap over and over. I'm frustrated as all get out. I'm not getting where I need to go. And you're intaking all of that, right? And I feel like you're a person too, because you care so much. Again, I do feel like you're somebody who a lot of times you hide things from those around you to protect them. So sometimes you hide your frustration. Sometimes you hide some of the stuff you got passed over for, or maybe cheated by people on financially, or maybe, things like that, ideas that you wanted to come out with that people are kind of like, so stand up for yourself. But I think that's going to be where you get your Wheel of Fortune. So let's get another card here. The Hierophant in reverse. And again, I think this is something where you don't need to, seek spiritual guidance. You don't need to really reach out. You're not really conflicted anymore. I feel by this point, you have kind of accepted the fact that, everything that is not working. Okay. Everything you've been doing is not working. What you want to do, what you need to do, you already know, right? You know that it's the best thing for you. You know that once you start showing the fruits of your labor, the positive outcomes that you can get by kind of moving forward, that everybody's going to get on board anyway, right? You kind of know well enough. So I think it's just a matter of putting it into practice at this point. It's not a matter of, soul seeking anymore. You kind of just know you need to do something. You're at that max frustration level. So let's get a last card on here, and then we'll pull some clarifiers here from the abundance deck. But we have the Magician, and this is so your energy right here. Okay. This is, to me, everything I've seen here, right? This is where I feel like your people, your friends, your family members, your coworkers, whomever that you've kind of really hitched your self to and been loyal to and stuck with and, really worked for, they get that chance to see you really pull all of your tricks out of the bag, right? You have the Magician has everything at their disposal, right? They have the pentacles, they have the swords, they have the cups, they have everything, right? So this is where you get to shine, right? Once you've made the decision that you are going to stop listening to everybody else, you're not going to just shut them off. You're not going to be rude. You're taking it in, you're listening, but really and truly, you know what needs to be done. You know what you're going to do. And it's not, you found your Wheel of Fortune idea or plan, and it's there and it's great, right? We see that here. No more, spiritual, thoughts and deep soul searching process anymore. You are ready to make moves. And once you start putting that into practice, once you start pulling that rabbit out of your hat, being that magician, I'm telling you, everything is going to fall into place beautifully. So whatever idea it is that you've been thinking, whether it's go to a new job, whether it's start investing in something different, whether it's create your own business, form a new partnership, whatever it is that you've really been kind of thinking about wanting to do. I don't care if you thought it was a pipe dream for you for a while, it's worth a try, because what you've been doing has not been making you happy. It's not been something you've enjoyed. It's not been being lucrative enough to bring you peace. So this is your Wheel of Fortune. This is your time to shine, time to show your magic, really. And everybody's going to see. And then, really and truly, they're going to be, kind of in awe. And I think a lot of them are going to really see, hey, man, we're we're really sorry that we didn't have more faith in you. We didn't trust you. We didn't, anybody who was kind of like a little naysay on it, or, feel, even if they don't say anything, they may feel like, oh, we feel a little guilty. We held you back, So let's get a card on each one of these of your abundance cards and see what we've got here. So loss. And I do feel like that's what's happening here. You've lost a lot of time. You've lost a lot of effort. You've lost a lot of energy here, basically trying to do what people wanted you to do or sticking at something too long. Okay. Bottom line, you know that. You've done the same thing over and over again out of duty, out of loyalty, out of whatever, right? But you've lost tons of time, probably tons of money, that you could have been making, whatever. And it's time to get past that, right? It's time to shake up the foundation, start something new. We see that. Divine source. And I definitely feel like this is going to come into play. I see this 100%, okay? That you are going to get opportunities mentally. They're going to come into your head if they haven't already. Ideas, okay? They're going to be sent divinely to you. You're going to have these ideas. And again, it may seem like a pipe dream to you, but I think it's that time that you're like, okay, what could it hurt, right? I've been dealing with stuff that's not worked for me for 20 years or 10 years or 5 years or however long. You know what? Might as well give something else a try, So I do think this is going to be some, some ideas that might come into you. There might be some partnerships that show up to you, some different things that come, out of nowhere. And you're like, wow, that's not a bad idea. Or that's something I'd really like to try. Or, hey, I just got a job offer or opportunity. Wow, that's interesting. And you may be reluctant, okay, because it may cost a little bit up front, right? We see this 4 of Pentacles in reverse there. Okay. So again, you may have to come out of pocket a little bit to move to a new job or to invest for this business or whatever it may be. Okay. I would not be too scared of that unless it's like major, right? Because we see that in here, but do your due diligence. As long as you're doing due diligence and you're not just throwing out cash willy-nilly, those kinds of things, know that sometimes it costs money to make money, right? We know that, okay? So I'm certainly not telling you go throw money without doing all your due diligence, your research, knowing what you're getting into, making sure it's what you want to do, knowing every ins and outs of it. Don't spend anything without knowing that's good investment, consulting the correct people, all of that great stuff. I'm not a financial advisor, but certainly, that's one thing. And then liberation. And I think this is so beautiful because that's exactly what this whole last row is about. You are liberating yourself from the same junk you've been doing forever and ever. You're liberating yourself from the judgment of the people who have kind of kept you involved in it. You're liberating yourself from that tie of, being stuck in that loyalty bond or that, whatever's kept you into that. You're liberating yourself from that to do what you want to do, to find that wheel of fortune that is yours. You're liberating yourself spiritually by saying, okay, I can do this and I want to do this and I'm going to do this. It's just putting it into practice. And then you're pulling out every single tool in your arsenal to make it happen. You are going out there and liberating yourself into a whole new world of something new, something exciting, something you can enjoy, and something that I think will make you quite a bit of money. As long as you, again, disclaimer, do your due diligence. Make sure you're not jumping at the first big thing that comes along or something that, again, I'm using the term pipe dream, meaning that maybe you thought that because you've done this same thing forever and ever and anything else seems like a pipe dream to you. I'm not saying, you know what, I'm going to go, buy a llama farm in, the middle of Mexico tomorrow or something, that's a little bit off, when you've never seen a llama in your life or something like that. Again, do the right thing, that you know something about, but you see my point, right? You're going to liberate yourself into something that you are going to be amazing at and people are going to be shocked. Okay. And I think it's going to be great for you and you're going to be so much happier, so much better off financially. And I think it's going to work really well for you. So I hope this works out for you. I hope this did resonate with you. If it did, please do like, subscribe, share all that other great stuff. And I hope to see you back soon. Bye.